In this video, we're going to talk about the Migration Wizard. It is the tool that ImageTrend has created to get your information from the old image trend to the new. Every service administrator will have the ability to utilize the Migration Wizard. Okay. I have already imported quite a bit of information from the old to the new, but as you get started, you will find that you will need to remigrate some of the information, at least the information that has the ability to be remigrated. There are some things that do not. We'll cover that in a few minutes. All right, when you're into the system, most of the setup process and a lot of the settings that you're going to be utilizing are going to be found under this first tab, which will state and say your fire department name. This tab also has the Migration Wizard there in the center column. So you're going to click on Migration Wizard. Under the Migration Wizard, this is where you will move information from the old system to the new. But there are some things that you have to follow when doing this. Okay, so notice as you scroll down the page that there is quite a bit of pieces of information that you can move over from the old site, and that's great. That's great. So you don't have to go back and do everything again. But there is a system that this has to be done. Notice they are numbered 1 to 34. That number 34 will grow over time. What this means is that every single thing that is to be migrated must be migrated one at a time and in the order that it's given. Okay. Now, the very first thing you'll migrate is the users. Now, your users are already migrated. Okay, so I migrated them at a system level. This now allows you to migrate them again. That way they are up to date. The users is one of the fields that you can re-migrate. You'll see that button in you'll see that button when you do this. Okay, so when you hit continue migration, it's going to ask you, do you want to only migrate active users? This will leave all of the inactive users in the old image trend. That's up to you. I usually say no. Let's just get everything over here in case, say, somebody comes back or what have you. All right, so we can hit migrate users and we hit continue, and what it'll do is it will go through this process, and when it's done it will just simply say this has been completed. And then what will happen is over here on the right side, the green column, the completed column, it will show that the users were migrated on this date by this person and that it was successful, and underneath it you will see a button that says remigrate. Which means if you are learning Elite, if you're getting acclimated and you're just putting some test information in Elite, this will allow you to continue to do so, and then as you're making updates in the old system, you can come in here and update it at your leisure. This same concept applies to inspections, locations, occupants, training. You'll see it. Okay, if it does not have a remigrate button, that does mean that it cannot be remigrated. But I will go ahead and tell you, because it doesn't tell you beforehand, I would just, if you can, a lot of this, when you're ready to move it over, that's when you should use this tool. That's going to be kind of my disclaimer to you, that once you migrate something, unless if it's those certain couple of things, you cannot remigrate, meaning you could only do it that one time. There's no going back. Now you will find, and see, there it is, it's complete. You will find, and sometimes you have to hit refresh, sometimes it'll pull up by itself. When you hit refresh, it moves from not done to current. Now you'll also see this guy right here, skip this step. Okay. When you skip this step, guess what? You can't come back. You can't come back and do it again. Okay, so when you're ready to migrate, do it all at once or do it as you can, but just know once you do it, there's no going back, unless if it says like over here where it says remigrate. Okay, and that's only for the things that change, often, such as inspections and user information, etc. All right, now as you get into this, as the modules are being released and built out, you will notice that not all the module information is here. That's because as modules are built, the migration wizard tools are built. They're not always simultaneous. Usually you get the module first and then you'll get the wizard migration tool later. Okay, so it's a very easy tool. It's a very, very good tool to use. Just make sure you do it in the order that it gives you. And again, if you skip, you cannot come back. And once you migrate, most of the time you cannot come back either. Okay. Also, as you're watching this, I'm going to go ahead and tell you when you get to number 9, skip it. I promise you, you will thank me later. Skip number 9. It's the only one I'm telling you to skip. Okay. That one has caused some issues. So, and it already, just go ahead and skip number 9. All right. Other than that, this is the Migration Wizard. This is kind of the first step in getting some of the information over from the old. At this point, you'll be able to go into, users and see that your users are there and they're updated and what have you. All right. And the good part is it tells you when it was updated and who updated it, so you can kind of keep track of where you're at. Again, very good tool. Just be careful when using it. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach me.